I was thinking that actually. It's amazing how
That's the bathroom.
But then I saw that it wasn't, but
Roberto? Oh, never mind. I haven't even played my guitar. I don't think so. We need to make sure though that with this, if it's on microphone or online.
This one.
Yeah, so this one needs to be pushed in. No, because it needs to be pushed in. Yeah, we need like a pin or something. Because otherwise it was for a guitar setting. Yeah. That'd be great. Oh, yes. When you come, you can just close the door after and yeah, hopefully. I know it's a little bit, you might have to bend down a little bit, but I think that it'll keep it on better. I just thought it today. So one, you're the, yes. You can probably just go right in here for the call if the door's locked.
Yep. I'll just carry it out.
Yeah, and you can keep it in the back. You can keep it out. Whatever you. Okay. All right. Check. Oh, that's probably playing. Shabbat Shalom. Yeah, well, we've got this whole side, so that's probably. Yeah. Hey Gary, Shabbat Shalom, how are you?
good. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well. Yeah, it's a beautiful night.
It's been last day or two, so.
Yeah. Wow. It's nice. The whole gang's.
Thank you. Yeah, it's exciting.
Really exciting. Yeah, I'm really glad how it's that things, my house.
Enjoy the fall, right?
Exactly.
Right. And such a, again, this is a beautiful courtyard. It's
Much better than being
in the front line.
Yeah. I mean, it's the whole grounds are nice, but
This is a little more cozier to the point. Thank you.
No sermon.
Get us to your point.
I've been a little busy.
It makes me feel good, but I think we might need a little more guys.
We'll be up there.
I know you will. I know
Hopefully next week.
Yeah.
Do you need anything from you, Rosa? Let me check for the
Stevens. Yeah. Do you remember Stevens stuff on with the baby?
Okay. Yeah, I know she's in it.
I think it looks beautiful on the live stream. I can't do it.
Phoebe's. It's Phoebe. That's good. Can I close this a little bit? Did I give you a green sheet? You have a green sheet. Good. I don't want to serve with Shabbat Shalom. Welcome. It's good to be together for Shabbat. It's good to enjoy a little bit more light as sort of the summer light and the fall cool meet, and we get to enjoy being together and being outdoors. Yes, thank you. Shabbat Shalom. Steve Sotlon, it's good to see you. Can we get you some chairs out there? Would that be better in case for a walk? We're happy.
We don't know if we have to make a quick exit.
I know, so let's get it. No, that's fine. Let's get you some chairs there, and then you've got. Trust me, I know pacing. I get it. I've been there. It's been a while, so we're gonna take care of you. Don't worry. All right, very good. Just want to make sure everyone's feeling comfortable to pray. We're so glad to be together. We're glad that this Shabbat we're going to be celebrating, as Asher Schillen is called to the Torah, as a bar mitzvah, which is a blessing. So I want to invite those of you who are here to greet one another with Shabbat Shalom. Also, the camera's there, and we're welcoming everyone who's joining us from home, and you can say Shabbat Shalom, and then we'll continue together. Yes, it's fine. We're going to continue lighting our Shabbat candles. We're on pages 2 and 3, and we're going to invite Asher's mom, Phoebe Peabody, forward to bring in our Shabbat light.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Just squeeze it. Squeeze hard. That's going to take a minute. I think they're
They're
brand
new candles. You know what? Good idea to be easier. Good idea. Take it out until the later is a little.
Nice. Here, this We're not going to do it. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, we'll do the blessing.
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom.
We get those lit very
We'll light the Shabbat candles in our souls.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
On this Shabbat Breshit, Shabbat of creation, where we begin the Torah from the start, from the story of creation, we're going to really begin our service on page 12 with Psalm 95. Psalm 95, Lechu ner Ananah, speaks of praising all of creation, and we'll join in the Hebrew. You can also find some English on your green page. Welcoming in the Shabbat bride with Lecha Dodi on page 20. Join in verses 1, 2, 5, and 9 when we reach the last verse. If you're able, we'll invite you to rise and face out to our trees as we bring in Shabbat.
Shemot echad,
26 for Chatzi Kaddish. Yitkada v'yitkada shemei rabba be'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon of yom echad uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael b'gala b'gala uv'izman kariv ve'imeru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach Le'olam olam me'amaya yitbarach yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroma v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yitala shemei dekudsha brichu Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata Damir and Be'alma Ve'imeru Amen. In the spirit of creation, I invite you to join with me in the English on page 27. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruits so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew our days. Lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways.
Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. You may be seated.
And if you're just joining us, there are some more chairs to my right if you'd like, to the left of Tim.
On the back of your green sheet, you'll see our prayer for creation. It just pulls out a few words from our prayer. The entirety of the text on page 30, this line says, Boreyom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or. We thank God for being the one who creates day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, and we are witnesses to that. This moment goes like this. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Orayom balayla, orel or mipnei choshech, orel or mipnei choshech, vechoshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Baruch atah Adonai, Ama'ariv Aravim. Page 32. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael, Ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chokim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Akein Adonai Eloheinu, v'shofenu u'bekomeinu, nasiach b'chutzecha, v'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha, le'olam va'ed. Ki im chayenu
Mimenu leolamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. You're welcome to rise if you would like, or feel free to stay seated. Shema. I would just point out, take note as we declare God's oneness, to take note of the beautiful sunset around us tonight.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Seated. We're going to invite Asher forward, who's going to lead us in Ve'ahavta on page 36.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha v'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha v'hayu ha'dvarim ha'ela asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shivtatam levanecha v'divarta bam v'shivtecha v'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech Ushokbecha uvkumecha Ushartam leot ayadecha Vechayu letotafot beinenecha Uchtavtam amezuzot beitecha Uvisharecha Leman tiskeru Ve'asitem ekol mitzvotai Vitem kedoshim lelochechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti echem Me'eretz Mitzrayim Liot lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Join together on page 41. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Join in our song of the sea.
וחזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. Please join with me on page 43. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Sing of our weekly gift of Shabbat, page 44.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat, la'asot et haShabbat le'olam v'le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat, la'asot et haShabbat le'olam v'le'olam. B'ni u'bein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat, la'asot et haShabbat le'olam v'le'olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, asa Adonai, et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat, la'asot et haShabbat le'olam v'le'olam. U'bayom hashvi'i Shabbat vaynafash, Shabbat vaynafash, Shabbat vaynafash. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat, la'asot et haShabbat le'olam v'le'olam.
Prepare now to enter our tefillah, our central prayer, and as we feel, those of us sitting outside, the change of seasons, you'll note that in the second paragraph of our Amidah, the Gevurah prayer, we are switching, now that we have just celebrated Sukkot and Simchat Torah, we now switch to that line in the paragraph that recognizes the rains and the winds of winter changing out of summer. Not that we need that reminder here in New England, but we will be switching to those words this Shabbat. So if you, we rise now in body or in spirit, and page 46 will begin together and then take some time for our own private prayer.
Adonai sefatativ tachu fi'ani tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips and my mouth will declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotinu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Chatzei Avot V'Imahot, U'mevii Geulah Livnei Bneihem, Le'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech וחוזר ומושיע ומגן. Baruch atah Adonai, Magid Avraham ve'Ezra Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayeh hakol atah rav le'hoshia. Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, mechakel chayim bechesed. Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofeh cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishnei afar, michamocha b'gevurot, umidol melach, melach memid umechayeh, umatzliach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh ha'akol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kdoshim b'chol yom ya'alelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, me'el hakadosh.
Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. I invite you to continue silently, either with the words on the page or the prayers from your heart, and feel free to be seated when you are ready. Rabbis sometimes joke that we all have one sermon and we just give it in different forms. So
Don't give all the secrets away.
So maybe you've noticed or not that I often like to give messages about time. They're just often disguised in different ways. But I would like to just draw your attention for a moment to page 4 in your Siddur, and these words that come from this week's Torah portion from the book of Genesis and creation. And you'll notice, so you'll see on the top, Vayhi Erev, Vayhi Boker, there was evening, there was morning, Yom HaShishi, a 6th day. And then immediately after that in the Torah, it moves into the next paragraph in the middle of the page, that God completed God's work and rested, and it was Shabbat. And you can see that these words actually immediately precede the Friday night Kiddush as we know it. And in some communities, we actually chant those words from this week's Torah portion before Kiddush. So when we get to Kiddush, we're going to go back to this moment. Asher, don't worry, you don't have to chant this part, but we'll chant this part, and then Asher will lead us in Kiddush, and you'll see how they kind of go together, because one of the main themes of Shabbat Kiddush is remembering creation. And the amazing thing is, if you look at these words on the page, the first thing ever to be called holy in creation is time. It is Shabbat. So if you look at, yes, the second to last line of the Hebrew, Vayikadesh Oto. So Kadesh, Kiddush, meaning holiness, and the Oto is Shabbat. God blessed the 7th day and declared it holy. So the first thing to be called holy, it's not animals, it's not space, it's not people, it's time, it is Shabbat. And I love that idea, I love that image, as a reminder that that the time we have is precious and holy. But I'll just share a very brief midrash that also reminds us that it's not just time itself that is essentially holy, but it is people that make it holy. So here's the midrash, and it comes from Shemot Rabbah, Exodus Rabbah. And it goes as follows. Why did God bless Shabbat? Rabbi Berechiah says, because Shabbat had no partner. The first day of the week partnered with the second. Those who are mathematically, you can see how this goes. The third day of the week partnered with the fourth. The fifth day of the week partnered with the sixth. But Shabbat, the seventh day, had no partner. So Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai taught, Shabbat, pleased with the Holy One, blessed be God, said, everyone else has a partner, but I have nothing. God answered, saying, the community of Israel, the people of Israel, will be your partner. And God continued, and when they stood before Sinai, God said to the Israelites, and here's the part from Exodus, remember what I said to Shabbat, that the community of Israel is your partner, as it says, remember Shabbat and keep it holy, like we said during Lachadodi. So it takes people to make Shabbat holy, to remember that it's Shabbat, which of course is what we are doing right now. So Gary, I know that wasn't a formal sermon, but a little thought for today. And as I said to Gary earlier, we hope it's been a long week for your rabbis. So, you've got your notepad, or you can ask me after the service. So in honor of Shabbat and Bereshit and creation, we are going to add these words from our Torah portion. You can find them on the back of the green page. At the bottom, again, Vayhi Erev, Vayhi Boker. There was evening, there was morning, and on that sixth day, God doesn't just say Tov, it was good. God says Tov Ma'od, the creation of people, of humankind, was very good.
את כל אשר עשה, והנה טוב מאוד. וירא אלוהים את כל אשר עשה, והנה טוב מאוד.
You got the English.
There was evening, there was morning. There was evening, there was morning. Vayarem, vayvoker, tov me'od. Vayarem, vayvoker, tov me'od. Vayar Elohim et kol asher asa, והנה טוב מאוד. וירא אלוהים את כל אשר עשה, והנה טוב מאוד. There was evening, there was morning. There was evening, there was morning. Vayarem, vayvoker, tov me'od. Vayarem, vayvoker, tov me'od.
We're going to turn our attention to those in our community who are in need of healing. those who are in need of comfort, those who care for them. Our prayer for healing is on page 253.
We especially pray for these members of our community this week. Colin Monroe, Mary Lou Hole, Janet Watson, Paul Robillard, Elizabeth Hill, Kelso Silva, Enrico Mascaro, Deborah Booker, Amy Seif, Robert Bloom, Annalise Stone, Benjamin Horowitz, Bradley Dichter, Mateo Goldman, Fruma Batarov, Jacob Visonia, Dan Ruggiero, Toby Weiner, Asya Rushovskaya, Amy Fasper Kurtz, Eileen Arnone, Charles Atkins, Marilyn Breyer, Jean Sands, Roseanne Cohen, Doug Cohen, Tom Fiorino, Michelle Heller, Barry Levine, Margaret G., Jamie Cook, Carolyn Kaufman, Carolyn Wheel. There's other names you'd like to mention? Join us tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., our Shabbat morning lay-led minyan, and 10:30. You can, Asher's family and those invited in person and anyone else through live stream, we will celebrate as Asher Shilin is called to the Torah as a bar mitzvah, 10:30 tomorrow morning. Sunday morning we have Shorashim, and in honor of Bereshit and Noach, we will be offering, because this might interest some of you, if you want to join us on the parking lot, 9:30 a.m., we are offering a special blessing for pets that goes along with celebrating all of creation. So this Sunday, yes, so our opening of Shorashim, we're doing our opening blessings on the parking lot when the weather is good, so anyone can join us. So stand around.
You said pets,
Pets,
right?
I did say
you know
pets.
The Bushinskis have a bearded dragon.
I do know that,
Okay.
yes. So as we've told the kids, you can bring a pet, you can bring a picture of a pet, you can bring a stuffed animal, so whatever works. We will celebrate creation. I have no idea if there's other announcements.
Yeah, there's just one more, which is next Friday will also be at 5:45 out here, weather permitting, and then we'll probably, given the light and so forth, be moving back into our normal 6:30 time. We should put a fire here.
Yeah.
Just like we used to 4,000 or 5,000 years ago. Maybe we'll spare the goat.
Please read your weekly shofar email or see our temple website for any other upcoming programs, adult learning, and other things going on in our community. Thank you, Tim Hollander, as always, for our live stream, to our ushers this evening as well. We're going to move into our concluding prayers for the Shabbat. You can find Aleinu L'Shabeach on page 282. If you're able, we rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, l'teiru lanu yotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoyei harasot, velo samanu kimishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkeinu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol amonam, v'anachnu korim ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני Ushemo, Ushemo, Ushemo. We're going to continue on page 289 as we think about loved ones who are no longer with us. In nature's ebb and flow, God's eternal law abides. When tears dim our vision or grief clouds our understanding, we often lose sight of God's eternal plan. Yet we know that growth and decay, life and death, all reveal a divine purpose. God, who is our support in the struggles of life, is also our hope in death. We have set God before us and shall not despair. In God's hands are the souls of all the living and the spirits of all flesh. Under God's protection we abide, and by God's love we are comforted. O life of our life, soul of our soul, cause your light to shine in our hearts and fill our spirits with abiding trust in you. And we recall those members of our community, those members of our family who have died in recent days. We recall Joe Beeson, stepfather of Rabbi Karen Citrin, grandfather of Itai and Yonah, James Richard Feidelman, father of Jane Feidelman. It's the Yartzeiten, the Shabbat, the anniversaries of death of Peggy Bordow, Rose Doctoroff, Mordechai Glazer, Esther Goldberg, Rita Harvey, John Francis, Diane Kantrowitz, Shirley Kaplan, Ralph Kolodny, Vivian Kolodny, Maurice Mincombe, James Plummer, Stephen Pruskin, Albert Reich, Maurice Rosenberg, Barbara T. Solomon, Lester Stein, David Stone, Irwin Stone, Bill Stoneman, and Janie Lynn Waldman. We invite those at home, those in our community, to add names for those you're remembering this Shabbat. join together on page 294 and praise God's name for the gift of life and the blessing of enduring memory. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divrach hirutei v'yanlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agalau v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah m'varach le'alam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal, shmed kudsha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'miran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'romav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved among us. We say amen.
Amen.
And we'll conclude now with those closing words of Seh Shalom B'Romav. May the one who makes peace above help us to make peace below. Oh, Seh Shalom B'Romav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu. Kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'ibru amen. Oseh shalom b'romav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Yoshvei tevel ve'ibru amen. Yalelelele, 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 yalelelele. Shalom b'romav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'ibru amen. Shabbat shalom.
So we're going to invite Asher to come join us for Kiddush and Motzi, and we'll begin first on page 4 and then turn it over to Asher. Vayerev vayivoker yom hashishi, Vayechulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzevam, vayechol Elohim bayom hashvi'i melachto asher asa, vayishbot bayom hashvi'i mikol melachto asher asa, vayevarech Elohim et yom hashvi'i, vayekadesh oto, ki bo Shabbat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim la'asot.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodesh v'achava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehila l'mikrei kodesh zecher l'tziyat mitzrayim ki
Vanu v'charta
V'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon imchatanu
Baruch atah Adonai v'kadesh
Chaim. Asher's gonna drink for all of us.
That's a big goal. Here you go. All right. Go for it.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Shabbat shalom. Mazel tov.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.